I'm Harriet Bell. I work in Place Department in Strategic Planning and Design as one of the Heritage team. I have multiple sclerosis, MS. I've had it since I was 23. It's a progressive neurodegenerative condition. I have both hidden and visible disabilities. Most obviously, I'm affected in my legs. I have trouble walking. I can only walk short distances and use a scooter and wheelchair to get around the building. I have weakness in my arms. I get a lot of pain from muscle spasms and tremor, and again, that's not very visible most of the time. I manage the pain with a lot of drugs. I really love going out still, and I do everything I can to make sure that that happens. It's difficult with public transport, but theatres, cinemas and music venues are really well set up these days, so that's a fantastic thing that's happened in the last 10 so years. It is still really difficult though, and getting into shops and restaurants by and large is one of the biggest challenges. I think that things are improving in terms of the workplace as well. In the council offices, I get frustrated at how long things take to change. I have though recently got a brilliant button that opens many of the doors. I still get stuck in doorways where those aren't in place. I would love the council to undertake an audit of all its buildings with disabled users to really understand what challenges we face and to try and put in place measures to help improve things, not just for the staff, but actually for people visiting here as well, all of the council buildings. In terms of society, I think things have changed a lot, but they still have a long way to go. I would love for disability just to be something that is accepted as part of life. Nothing extraordinary, nothing devastating, and nothing inspiring either, just normal. When I was first diagnosed with MS 20 years ago, it was pretty devastating, but the thing about disability is that you adapt and life doesn't stop. It's fantastic.
Hello, my name's Claire Riley. I work at Enfield Council in the Resources Department and I've been here 13 years. So I have a disabled daughter. My daughter's 20. She has learning difficulties. She is in remission with epilepsy. She has scoliosis and hypermobility. So she's attended since the age of 5 a special educational needs school. So we've been through all the SEN process for education. So this does mean that I have extra duties on top of looking after a family, my husband and my son. I do feel that over time, so when my daughter's 20, that things have improved for people with a disability. I do think there is more awareness. So, you know, Strictly Come Dancing have had people with a disability on, so it's getting people with disability in the public eye and understanding what disabled people are actually able to do. I mean, my daughter's actually managed to get a job working in a local primary school as an admin assistant, 12 hours a week, which is amazing, and I never ever thought that would happen. And her life has been completely transformed by that, and us as a family, and she feels valued and is contributing to society, which is important for her. So we've got a supported intern programme funded by the council, run by Wesley School, which is how my daughter got a job. And we do now have supported interns working in the council, and I'd really like to see that works through into a permanent role for those young people. So I think it would be really positive for people to see people in the workplace supporting the council with a disability. I think the council has supported me with the flexible working, which is really important. But I think there's still a little bit way to go in terms of awareness. So just simple things like transport. So if we're going to go somewhere like a hospital appointment, we have to research really carefully how we're going to get there. Not everywhere is step-free access. If we take the wheelchair, we're very limited on what platforms or stations we can use. So that really needs to be thought through. And I think people are still a little bit judgmental about disability. So, you know, somebody might use the lift, one floor, might think they're being rather lazy, not really understanding that they might have a medical condition that means that actually using the lift is their only way to get from one floor to the next. So I think we need to think a little bit more about being less judgmental around people.
My name's Jane Middleton-Aubuyer and I'm the Head of Legal Services. I've worked at the Council for about 14 years. I'm going to talk about my epilepsy. I first got diagnosed about 30 years ago when I was in my mid-20s. The type of epilepsy I've got means that I can lose consciousness, but fortunately I'm very well controlled. The types of effects it has on me is that I can, or I'm conscious that I could have seizures if I was to get very stressed or very tired. Also, sometimes if I don't eat enough or for long periods of time, then this can affect me too. I do think the council's really improved. There is now a lot more flexibility. People are actively encouraged to work at home, and this really assists me. So I think the council still has a bit of a way to go in terms of making more information known about certain disabilities, particularly unseen disabilities like epilepsy. I think there's also a need for senior management to take the lead in flexible working, for example, because to some extent there is still a need to be at work, to be seen to be working culture, and we really need to change that from the top.
I'm Martin Sanders. I've worked in Enfield Council for 36 years. I have Meniere's disease, which I developed 20 years ago. That means that I'm completely deaf now. I have it in both ears, which is quite rare. I suffer from permanent vertigo and really bad dizzy spells and tinnitus. I have a cochlear implant now. That has helped me, and coupled with lip reading and learning how to control situations like where to sit in a meeting, I've been able to cope. However, that has meant that I've lost a lot of things in life that I enjoy doing. You know, I now have 10,000 records that I can't listen to at home. I go to gigs just for the experience, but I can't hear. Nonetheless, things have got better for me. I use electronic devices, subtitles, texting, email, things that weren't there before, which really helped me have a good quality of life, along with a lot of good friends and family that are very supportive to me. Things are gradually improving. Laws now protect us better, there's better technology, and just a general awareness, a heightened awareness of disability. The other thing that's beginning to change is that disability isn't something that's looking to be solved, it's something that we now need to know how to adapt to. And we need to take disability at the same pace as other equalities. For instance, you wouldn't use language about race or sexual orientation in a room without expecting challenge, whether you're directly impacted or not. We need to get people with disabilities being treated in exactly the same way. I'm lucky because at the council I've been very well supported over the time that I've been there. But the important bit that we need to recognise is people with disability have a lot of abilities. We're adaptable, we're loyal, we're subject matter experts on being disabled, so we're your residents as well as your internal customers.
I would really like to understand other people's disabilities and for everybody to understand my disability. And I think this sort of campaign and this sort of awareness raising is an excellent idea, because we really need to understand the day-to-day effects on our colleagues who have disabilities.